The longtime chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, both pled guilty himself to committing crimes, as well as agreed to testify within this investigation against the Trump Organization. So big stuff. That's not him agreeing to testify against Trump and about what Trump's crimes might have been, but I mean, Trump was the head of the organization, so him revealing crimes about what the criminal business practices were that the Trump Organization was playing parts in is really important and fascinating. So we'll read a little bit about this from CBS. Alan Weisselberg, the former longtime chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, pleaded guilty Thursday to 15 counts of fraud and tax evasion, acknowledging that he was part of a scheme to receive more than $1.7 million in off-the-books perks and compensation from former President Donald Trump's namesake firm. Weisselberg entered the plea in a Manhattan courtroom where he admitted to his crimes and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in the criminal case against two Trump Organization entities. Weisselberg was charged in July 2021 alongside the Trump Organization subsidiaries that prosecutors claim took part in the scheme, which also allegedly benefited other company executives. The company has pleaded not guilty, and jury selection for its trial is scheduled for October 24th. Weisselberg's deal with prosecutors calls for a sentence of 5 months in New York's Rikers Island jail, followed by 5 years probation. He must also pay $1.9 million in back taxes and fines and testify under oath as a witness in the company's trial. He has not agreed to provide any new or supplemental information about Trump or the company that bears his name, according to sources familiar with the matter. So this is interesting, and he's going to actually spend time in jail, which is a big deal. We don't see too often kind of white collar crimes be prosecuted like this. And the scheme that he got caught up in and got prosecuted for was getting those illegal perks from his company and having them pay for things that they aren't supposed to, based on tax laws and stuff like that. To get around paying taxes is the benefit to him. But he has agreed to testify under oath as a witness against the company, or in the company's trial, I should say, for the prosecution, which should hopefully reveal some fascinating information. As it highlighted there, we don't know yet. We don't know any particular new information that he knows he has and knows he's going to share. But the chief financial officer of an organization knows what fishy business is going on. They had to be somewhat aware or a part of those things for them to have gone off without a hitch. And so I think Alan Weisselberg, besides Trump himself, is the guy who knows what was going on. And while I think there's kind of two conversations, just the Trump Organization by itself, it's always good to hold people accountable, again, who tend historically not to get held accountable as often for crimes they committed, absolutely. But when talking about Trump and his kind of the larger arc that we've covered of him committing what we see as probably multiple crimes in multiple different areas, and one of those was the business world. This is one more step in that direction, but honestly, to me, it's not the most important investigation that's going on by any means. And I think if something is going to, if you want to use the phrase, take Trump down, it should be, in my mind, I mean, of course, if he committed crimes, then it should be in the business world too, but the one that just really I see as the most important is him trying to overturn the 2020 election, trying to pressure officials to do so. The Georgia call, where he's asking them to find 11,000 votes. That is the most important, because not only is it about holding one person accountable, it's about setting a precedent where people don't threaten our democracy in that way and don't try to overturn the will of the people in that way. And I think that will have lasting ramifications either way it goes. Obviously, if he doesn't end up getting held accountable, we're going to see more leaders in America attempt to do what he did. If he does get held accountable, maybe not so much, which is what we want to do. So interesting stuff. And the walls just seem to be closing in around Trump, his organization, and his allies somewhat simultaneously. We're seeing so many different investigations hitting him at once, and I am here for it.